Hi, I'm the Rick and Rick Turns, and today I'm going to be turning 3 Christmas tree ornaments. These 3 ornaments are made from water oak, and they are very easy to make. Because after all, nothing says Christmas like overdoing it. But before we get started, I'd like to answer a question I got from one of my subscribers. Danny from Ohio writes, "Dick, I have 2 left feet. Is this going to hamper my wood turning?" Well, Donnie, first of all, my name is Rick, not Dick. People are always getting me confused with my adopted identical twin cousin, Dick. Sadly, she passed away some 63 years before I was born. Denny, there's really no shame in being left-footed. Well, not much anyway. Here's how you can handle it in wood turning. Approach the lathe as if you were a normal person. You get there, turn around, put your back to the lathe. Now take a look. Your left foot is where your right foot should be. You stand like this, and you won't have any more problems with your rather strange affliction. Good luck, Debbie, and thanks for writing. Now let's go to the lathe and get started with today's project. This is an Acorn Christmas ornament made from water oak. I'm turning it about 1500 RPM. The blank here is 3.5 inches long and about 1.25 inches wide. I'm using a skew chisel to clean up the end. And now I'm going to mark off the dimensions for the acorn. I marked off about 3/4 inches on the right hand side for the cap of the acorn and 1 3/8 inches for the body of the acorn. I'm going to bring out the tailstock with a Jacob's chuck in it and a 3/32 inch drill bit. And this is for the hanger hole that I'll put in when the ornament is finished. I'm removing some material down from the very lower end of the acorn where it comes to a point. And I want the diameter of the body to be approximately or just a little bit less than the maximum diameter of the acorn cap. I'm bringing the acorn down to a point, but I can't cut it all the way through yet. I'm adding a burn line right between the acorn cap and the body. And now it's time to do some sanding already. This is a very simple ornament. I'm not going to show all of the sanding here. I skipped directly from 80 grit up to 600 grit. And now I'm putting on a friction polish. Friction polish is just shellac with a little bit of a boiled linseed oil. As you can see, you wipe it onto the piece and you use the very same rag to polish it with. And that rag should be getting hot in your fingers. Put on a little wax, do the polishing again. It looks great. The ornament is finished, and all I'm going to do here is part it off. That little bit of exposed wood where I parted it off needs to have a little friction polish put on it just to bring it in line with the color of the rest of it. Now right at the top there where I drill the hole, I need to put in a hanger. I make these hangers out of 16 gauge craft wire. As you can see, I've twisted them. There's a spiral on one end. That spiral actually works very well to make them act like a screw, and I can just screw them into the top of the ornament. This is another very simple Christmas ornament. This is a rolling pin, of course, and they've gone over very well when I've given them out as gifts. Now for this ornament, because it's going to have very small diameters on both ends, I've brought out the tailstock. I will need it a little bit later when I start to form the handles on both ends of the rolling pin. I'm using a tenon sizing cutter made out of an old 3/4 inch wrench to bring one end down to exactly 3/4 inch. And now I'm wasting away a lot of the rest of the material on here. Now, of course, I'm using my skew chisel to bring the entire thing down to about 3/4 inch. For the rolling pin, I use 1.5 inches in the center and about 1/2 inch on both sides. Now the pieces on the end, of course, are the handles. I'm using a diamond parting tool to waste away some of that material on the outside handle and now on the inside handle. As you can see, I'm not using calipers or anything, just eyeballing it to get the two diameters to be the same. Now a little bit more work on the body of the rolling pin. Just to smooth it out, use a paring cut with a skew chisel to get a nice smooth finish on the end grain that's exposed. Now I'm going to switch the live center for a Jacob's chuck and drill the hanger hole in the end of the ornament. I'm just going to clean up a little bit here and there on the ornament, and now it's time to sand it. As with the last ornament, there's no point in showing the entire sanding process, so I'm skipping over it. Straight into, let's put on the friction polish. I want to put in a burn line on each end of the ornament. So I cut a very slight groove with a skew and now use a burning wire to darken it. This friction finish polishes up beautifully. Once I have burned it in with the rag, I put on a little coat of carnauba wax and polish it on as well. Now it's time to turn it off, the final step. I've got another hanger that I made ready to put in the end of this one, and just like with the acorn ornament, I'll screw it down into the hole that I drilled. This is the third ornament that I'm making today. This is a small wine bottle ornament. I hope that was obvious. Once again, this is a piece of water rope. I'm bringing the piece back into true after having remounted it and using a peeling cut to even off the end there, and now a paring cut to smooth the end down. For the wine bottle, I'm using 1 3/4 inches, I think. 3/4 inch for the neck, about 1 to 1 1/4 inches for the body of it. Once again, I'm using the peeling cut with the skew to bring the neck down to its overall diameter. And right about here is where the shoulder will start. And now I'm cutting in the diameter of the body of the bottle. Now I'm going to bring the neck of the bottle down to its final diameter, and wine bottles always have that little rim right up at the top, so that's what I left, that little piece right on the right hand end is the bottle rim. And I just finished cutting the shoulder from the body down to the neck of the bottle. Now just a little bit more work on the top end there, bring up the tailstock with the Jacob's chuck and drill the hole for the hanger to be mounted. And the bottle end, the body of the bottle looks a little thick, so I'm going to bring its diameter down just a little bit more. Now I'm going to cut in right below the bottom. I'll be parting off here in just a few minutes. I want to curve over the bottom just a little bit. Once again, I'm going to skip over most of the sanding. It's really not that exciting. I'm sure you can figure out how to do it without me showing you. Onto the friction polish, apply it on with the lathe turned off, and then polish it in with the same cloth. With the Canuba wax final coat applied, I'm going to part it off now. I'm cutting in at a fairly sharp angle to make that little dimple in the bottom of the wine bottle that they all seem to have. I'll cut that little knob off with a small chisel I've got. I'm going to put a little bit of the polish on the bottom just to seal the wood. And now I've got a hanger, another one of my homemade hangers that I'll just screw right into the top. I hope you enjoy making your wooden Christmas tree ornaments as much as I've enjoyed making the video. Merry Christmas!